News here at Fox Sports. Yesterday, Fox and the Stars Group announced plans to launch Fox Bet, the first national media and sports wagering partnership in the United States. And it all kicks off in the fall with 2 products.
The first is a nationwide free-to-play game, awarding cash prizes to players who correctly predict the outcome of sports games. And the second is a Fox Bet app, which will give customers in states with regulated betting the opportunity to place real money wagers.
I done found a new home for the Whitlock Pay Your Mortgage pick. All right, Fox Sports is truly all in. All right, let's go to a big story in Oakland, where the Rockets came up just short against the Warriors last night, coming back from down 20 to take the lead at one point before fading in the final minutes after Kevin Durant left with an injury in the third quarter. The Splash Brothers picked up the slack in a big way, all while Houston's biggest stars faded. James Harden and Chris Paul combined for just 13 points on 7 shots after KD went down, with Harden taking only 1 field goal in the last 8 minutes and a half. The question here is, bigger takeaway, Warriors' gutsy performance or Rockets' choke job? I could go either way on this. I'm going to land on Golden State's gutsy performance. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green last night at least, like, wow, that was impressive to me. Kevin, and it was impressive to see.
What you just said, we free now. I'm telling you, it's that same, I'm telling you, it's that bad energy, but yet I'm dealing with it, like relationships. That's what that is, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really a choke job, though. I mean, as much as you can say we're free and we're playing out, going back to the old Golden State way, it's Houston's moment. Houston, all the what-ifs, as we've been hearing about from last year, the hamstring and what if, and, oh, man, we could have finished that off. We would have won the You had your moment yesterday, last night, when you saw this team limping. And going back to my football days, it used to trip me out when I'm playing defense, right? And the other team, first down, they run a sweep right. They get 10 yards. First down again, right? Guess what they do the next play? Run a dive left. I'm like, won't you run a sweep right again and let us stop you? And then we can see what's going to go on. They didn't attack when they saw that they had an opportunity. You have a weakness, you continue to drive that nail in until you see how they respond.
But doesn't it go back to the questions a lot of people had about James Harden? The inability to finish and take his team over the top. You know, as well as he's played all season, but yet and still in the playoffs, especially against Golden State, there's still questions to whether he can get them over the top. Last night could have answered a lot of that. I mean, especially when Kevin Durant went out. By not being able to be effective down the stretch, and what I mean by effective is having an impact on the game. He didn't get shots because he had Golden State double-teamed at times and forced the ball out of his hands, but did he initiate enough offense to kind of get guys shots, to be able to knock down open opportunities, throw the lob to Capella, to be aggressive? That's what the leader does. He doesn't necessarily have to all the time put the ball in the hoop, but I'm going to force you to have to guard me, and then I'm going to make a play either for myself or my teammates. So we didn't see that. So to me, it was a bigger knock on Houston's inability to focus in on the moment where they needed their best player and players, being CP3, to finish the job. It was a tough task because they were still in Golden State, but to really finish the job and answer and put to bed a lot of questions.
Listen, those are great points. Now, check this out. What if Golden State said, you know what, I'm going to double James because Chris is not having a great series. So even if it swings over, I'm going to hedge my bets on a 6'5", 6'7", 6'9" guy guarding Chris on the opposite side and him taking a tough shot. That's the reason why I'm going to wear down James, because history shows that every single playoff he wears down because he does so much, too much for his team, right? Now, as far as a choke job, it's not like they went on the road anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
That's one. Two is, Golden State, yeah, in the regular season, you lost about 10, 11, 12, but you're bored. You've been in the finals 4 or 5 years, 4 years. So my thing is, like, I really think it's more so gutsy for Golden State and what they did, because you still had 12, 14, 15 minutes, maybe 45 minutes of airtime plus playing, and 15 minutes of actual basketball where you gutted it out. And it was a one-possession, two-possession game. So Stephen Curry coming alive with 20 points, and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green being their old self.
It's a two-time MVP.
That is true.
Klay Thompson is an all-star. Draymond Green, they're supposed to do that.
Right.
Yeah, that's easier said, though, Jim. Your best player, the best player in the league, just went down with what you had to believe was an Achilles injury. That can take your emotions down. And to me, what I saw, because I'm going to now argue the other side of this, I saw James Harden relax. Oh, KD's not here.
Well, I saw the whole Houston Rockets team relax like that. I agree with you on that.
Okay,
Yes.
but I blame James because he's their best player, and Chris Paul is a ghost now. And so what needed to happen, even if he didn't follow it up on the court, there should have been dramatic footage of James Harden in a Houston timeout. We got to take advantage of this. Nobody relax. Who cares if KD doesn't come back? We have to seize this. I didn't see that footage.
But I didn't see it from D'Antoni either. You see what I'm saying?
Hell of a point.
You never see that.
But here's the thing: the coaches I played for, Larry Brown, Jeff Van Gundy, Phil Jackson. He may say it in a different way, but a Pat Riley. If you're on the road and something like that happens, they're gonna make sure that everything you do now, the attention to detail. Right now. Right now. And you're going to get that direction from the coach, and then your best player, like you talked about, is going to be overly emphatic about taking, advantage of the moment.
Did you see the fatigue as you were talking about? Because we were talking about the energy level. And James Harden, who either you finish the job or you die trying. Like in that last fourth quarter when you know there's no KD, you got to go out there and just die on the court. For the last 9 minutes, he took one field goal attempt. Chris Paul didn't even make a shot, took only 3. What was occurring is maybe some of that lapse of, we got this now. Let's just play, let's pace this out. We got this. But also out of sequence was James Harden taking a couple minutes out in the fourth quarter, coming back only 1 shot. Like, they got paralyzed in a moment of opportunity where you're supposed to be in thought process of seizing this. And they didn't seize it, which tells me that I don't see this clicking on and staying on for you to come back to Oracle and win another game.
I think they'll play with some desperation Friday.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, they've embarrassed themselves. Because, Coutinho, here, I'll push back to you on one point. When Kevin Durant went down, and I think it was a 1-point game at that point, you did think Houston was going to win, like most people. At the moment Kevin Durant went down, I was like, oh, man.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. You thought that, right?
No, truthfully, I'm not trying to be funny. I didn't think they were going like, Houston's going to win it. I didn't think that.
You didn't think, that's not what you thought.
No, because you got to understand Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, they're used to playing selfless with other people. So what's stunting their growth, or because they're already grown, but what's stunting their progression of greatness is KD being right there. It's like me and Steve Francis, right? Steve Francis is the most dominant one on our team. So you have to go through Steve Francis. That man right there averaged 20 for his career. I averaged 20, right, at a certain point in time for my career. You do what's best for the team, and that's how Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, that's who they are. What's best for the team is KD dominates, and we fill in the blanks. Now KD's not here, so now let me do what I do. And in basketball, Jimmy, as you know, it's a rhythm sport. This is all rhythm. Those two guys, yes, they need to shoot the ball. But as long as they're moving around like the Rip Hamillers and the Ray Allens and the Reggie Millers of the world, that's kind of like moving the ball. Everybody can't do that. That's hard to do. It's hard to guard. It's hard to be around because now your defense, you use so much of your defense to stop those two, your offense is not as good, Chris Paul, right? You're not as young as you used to be.
You know what's interesting? To your point, if you really look at their season under a microscope, you saw at the latter stages when they were limping, KD saying, I'm going to pass more. My shot selection going to go down. And they weren't playing optimal basketball. They get into the Clippers series in the first couple of games. KD's like, I'm playing in this new system. Coach ain't calling my shot. I get it. Let's just go through me. And then finally, coach said, it has to go through KD. We're going to play some ISO stagnant ball, whatever it is, just to get out this series. And then he went on this tear to the point where right now, they're like, okay, we're going to let this go because this is the rhythm. This is what's working.
That's how the
rhythm.
Now
they got to go back.
But KD, in his defense, a lot of times during the course of the season, the ball did move. He did move around the court. It was coming off. But when you have such a dominant player like that, you got to allow him to be him. And it does at times seem like the offense is stagnant. But for the course of the season, and even last year, Their offense still circulate. I think sometimes Clay did get lost in the system.
It's going to be one of the three.
It's going to be one of the three.
Like Chris Bosh.
Let me jump in here with a little news. Adrian Wojnarowski just reported Durant has a mild strain in his right calf, could be back for the Western Conference Finals.
Good.
So all of us that tried to play doctor off a TV screen last night, look.
I knew it was a pop.
Well, we knew
the
it
same
wasn't.
thing happened to me twice.
I'm gonna tell you, I tore my Achilles. When they said MRI tomorrow, that means it's not Achilles.
Right.
Achilles, you could do a Thomas test, I think they call it. Basically, you do this. If your Achilles is gone,
They know.
They know. So there's no MRI needed. When they say MRI, I was like, oh, calf, but what's the severity of the calf?
If it was
Right
torn
there.
or anything
Torn,
like that.
right.
I texted right there, 9:21.
Yeah.
Mild sprain.
That's what I said.
Of his could be back for the Western Conference.
And he's
Finals.
had this injury before.
Yeah.
All right, coming up.
Yeah.
With the Celtics season's over, Kyrie Irving is about to become a hot commodity, but is he actually being overvalued? We get into that next.